Two women. One woke up in a mansion in Lekki. Swimming pool outside. Maids inside. Millions in the bank. The other woke up in a one-room apartment in Surulere. Peeling paint. No money. A sick child sleeping beside her. They lived in the same city, but completely different worlds. Until the day those two worlds collided in the back seat of a yellow Keke. The rich woman needed to test someone. The poor woman needed to survive another day. Neither of them knew that this meeting would change everything. 8 weeks later, the poor woman was standing in the rich woman's office, shaking, tears running down her face.
You are Mama Rose? The homeless woman I carried every day?
Yes, Emily. And now I'm about to make you a billionaire's offer.
You are Mama Rose? The homeless woman I carried every day. Yes, Emily. And now I'm about to make you a billionaire's offer. This is the story of the Keke rider who carried a CEO, and never knew it. But how did we get here? Let me take you back to where it all started. Hey beautiful people! Before we continue, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is there right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. The sun was just coming up over Lagos. In the big, beautiful house in Lekki, Patricia Cole opened her eyes. She was 55 years old. Her bedroom was bigger than most people's whole house. The curtains were white silk. The bed was so soft it felt like sleeping on a cloud. Through the window, she could see her swimming pool shining in the morning light. Patricia stood up and walked to her bathroom. It had gold taps. The mirror was so big you could see your whole body. She looked at herself and sighed. Another day. Another fight. You see, Patricia was not just rich. She was powerful. She owned Cole Empire, a big company that did many things. She had real estate. She had hotels. She had transport companies. Her biggest company was called Cole Transit. They had buses, trucks, and offices all over Nigeria. But Patricia did not get all this by being soft. She built it herself. From nothing. After her husband died 20 years ago and left her with debt, she worked day and night. She fought. She cried. She won. And now, nobody could touch her. Except, there was one problem. Her Cole Transit office in Abuja was falling apart. Every week, bad news. Drivers not showing up. Money missing. Customers angry. The manager she put there was lazy. The whole team had stopped caring. Nobody was doing their job. Patricia sat at her breakfast table. The table was long enough for 12 people. But she ate alone. Always alone. Her assistant, Grace, called. Ma, the Abuja report came in. It's worse than last week. Patricia closed her eyes. I need someone strong to go there. Someone I can trust. Someone who will clean up that mess and make the office great again. But that was the problem. Who could she trust? The last time she trusted someone with a big job, that person stole from her. Lied to her face. Broke her heart. Patricia made a decision right there at her breakfast table. This time, I will not rush. I will find the right person. But first, I will test them. I will test them properly. She just didn't know yet how she would do it. On the other side of Lagos, in a small area called Surulere, Emily Grant was already awake. It was 30 minutes after 5 in the morning. The sun was not even up yet. But Emily was up. She was always up early. Her room was small. Very small. Just one room for her and her daughter. The bed was pushed against one wall. A small table in the corner. A gas cooker near the door. The paint on the walls was old and peeling. But Emily kept it clean. Very clean. The floor was swept every night. The curtain was washed every week. The bed was made properly every morning. Emily was 33 years old. She was thin but strong. Her hands had calluses from hard work. Her face had laugh lines even though life had not been easy. She made breakfast quickly. Gary and sugar for herself. Bread and tea for her daughter. Lily, wake up baby. Time for school. A small voice answered. Coming, Mummy. Lily Grant was 10 years old. She was small for her age. Beautiful. Quiet. With fine, gentle eyes that looked older than they should. Lily had a sickness. The doctor called it juvenile idiopathic arthritis. Big words that just meant her joints hurt. Her knees. Her fingers. Sometimes she couldn't walk properly. Some mornings, she woke up crying from the pain. Emily helped her daughter get ready. She brushed Lily's hair gently. Helped her put on her uniform. Carried her bag. How are you feeling today, my love? I'm okay, Mummy. My knee hurts small, but I'm okay. Emily smiled. But inside, her heart was breaking. Because she knew Lily needed to go to the hospital again next week. And the hospital bill was not small. After she dropped Lily at school, Emily went to her Keke. A Keke Napep. A tricycle. Yellow and black. Old but working. This was her office. Her business. Her source of income. Emily had bought this Keke 2 years ago. She saved every naira for 2 years while working as a cleaner and a shop assistant. The day she finally had enough money, she went to the Keke seller and paid cash. That was the happiest day of her life. Now, she drove it every day. 6 days a week. Morning to night. Carrying people from place to place. Making small money. But honest money. She cleaned her Keke every evening. She checked the oil. She made sure the seat was not torn. She kept a small bottle of air freshener inside. Other Keke riders laughed at her. Emily, why are you doing too much? This is Keke, not Ben's. But Emily didn't care. This was her business. And she took it seriously. She parked at her usual spot near the bus stop and called out, Yaba! Ojulegba! Suralir! Enter! People started climbing in. And just like that, another day started. It was Monday morning. A normal day. Or so Patricia thought. She came down from her bedroom, dressed and ready. She had a very important meeting. She called for her driver. Charles. Charles, bring the car. No answer. She called his phone. He picked up with a weak voice. Ma. I'm sorry, Ma. I'm very sick. Fever. I can't drive today. Patricia frowned. This was bad. She couldn't drive herself. Her doctor said no because of her high blood pressure. Her assistant was already at the meeting venue. There was no time to arrange another driver. For the first time in many years, Patricia Cole had to take public transport. She went back upstairs and changed. She put on a simple dress. Nothing expensive looking. She took a small bag. No jewelry except a simple bracelet. She wrapped a scarf around her head. Then she walked to the main road. Cars were rushing past. People were shouting. Lagos was awake and moving. Patricia raised her hand. A yellow and black Keke stopped in front of her. Good morning, Ma. Where are you going? Patricia looked up. The woman driving the Keke had a bright smile. Her eyes were kind. She was wearing a simple shirt and jeans. Her Keke was old but very clean. Victoria Island, Patricia said quietly. Enter, Ma. Victoria Island, 20 minutes. Patricia climbed in. 2 other people were already sitting there. The Keke moved into traffic. And what happened in the next 20 minutes changed everything. Emily drove carefully. Not fast, not slow. Just right. She greeted every passenger. Good morning. How are you doing? One man in the back was scrolling his phone. A woman next to Patricia was carrying a big bag of vegetables. They stopped at another bus stop. A young man jumped in. He sat down roughly and immediately started complaining. This Keke is moving like tortoise. Madam, you can't drive faster. Emily didn't get angry. She just smiled. Sir, you see the traffic at the front? If I drive faster, I will hit someone's car. But if you want to come down, I will refund your money. The man grumbled but said nothing else. Patricia watched. Interesting. They stopped again. This time, a woman carrying a baby and 2 heavy bags was trying to get in. She was struggling. The bags were falling. The baby was crying. Before anyone could say anything, Emily quickly parked the Keke, jumped down, and helped the woman. Sister, give me the bag. I will put it at the back. You hold your baby well. She arranged everything carefully. Made sure the woman was seated comfortably. Then she climbed back and continued driving. Thank you, sister, the woman said. No, it's fine, Emily replied. It's a small thing. Patricia's eyes were wide now. She was paying full attention. A few minutes later, a man tried to pay less than the correct fare. It's 80 naira from that bus stop to here, the man said. Emily shook her head gently. Sir, the price is 100 naira. Everyone knows it. If you don't have the full amount of money, tell me. I will help you. But let's not lie. The man looked embarrassed. He paid the full amount. Then, something happened that made Patricia sit up straight. At one bus stop, Emily suddenly stopped the Keke completely. She stepped down. There was a small boy standing alone by the road. He looked about 7 years old. He was crying. Emily didn't know this boy. But she walked up to him, knelt down to his level, and spoke gently. What happened? Where's your mummy? The boy was too scared to talk properly. He just pointed somewhere. Emily stayed with him. She didn't rush. She just waited. Other passengers were watching. Nobody complained. 2 minutes later, a woman came running. Emeka! Emeka! It was the boy's mother. She had been looking for him. The boy ran to her. The mother was crying with relief. Emily stood up, smiled at them, and went back to her Keke like it was nothing. Patricia was sitting in the back of that Keke with her mouth slightly open. When Patricia reached her stop, she paid Emily and stepped down. Emily waved. Thank you, Ma. Have a nice day. Patricia walked slowly to her meeting. But she kept looking back at the Keke until it disappeared. That evening, in her big mansion, Patricia sat in her study. She couldn't stop thinking about the Keke woman. She picked up her phone and called Grace. Grace, I need you to find out everything about a Keke rider. Quietly. Don't make noise. I will send you the details. Grace was confused. Ma, why? What happened? Just do it, Patricia said. After she dropped the call, Patricia stood by her window and looked out at the night. Who is this woman? She whispered to herself. Then the doubts started coming. But she's just a Keke rider. What does she know about running a company? About managing people? About corporate business? Poor people think differently. What if she gets power and becomes greedy? What if she looks good on the surface but has a bad character deep down? Patricia had been fooled before. She had trusted people who seemed good but turned out to be snakes. She sat down at her long dining table. Alone. As always. And then, slowly, a plan formed in her mind. I will not hire her. Not yet. First, I will test her. I will test her properly. Not in an office. Not in an interview. I will test her in real life. She leaned back in her chair. I will go back. But not as Patricia Cole. I will go back as someone who needs help. As someone poor. As someone homeless. And I will watch who she really is when nobody is watching. Patricia smiled to herself. The test was about to begin. The next morning, Patricia stood in front of her bedroom mirror. What she was about to do was crazy. Her assistant Grace had told her so. Even her housekeeper looked shocked. But Patricia didn't care. She had made up her mind. She put on an old, faded dress. It was brown and looked like it had been washed 1,000 times. She found it in a storage room. Her maid used to wear it years ago. She rubbed dust on her hands, on her arms. She wrapped an old cloth around her head like a scarf. She removed all her jewelry, her rings, her watch, her earrings. Everything. Except one simple bead bracelet that looked cheap. Then she practiced walking. Slowly, with a slight bend in her back. Like someone whose bones were tired from hard life. She looked at herself in the mirror. Patricia Cole, Billionaire CEO, was gone. What stood there was an old, tired woman who looked like she had nowhere to go and nobody to help her. She had told Grace the plan. Grace was terrified. "Ma, this is dangerous. What if something happens? What if someone recognizes you?" Patricia raised her hand. "Nobody will recognize me. Set up a car to drop me near the area every morning and pick me up in the evening. Nobody must know." She walked downstairs. Her security men didn't even recognize her at first. When they did, their mouths fell open. "Madam." "Not a word," Patricia said firmly. "To anybody." The car dropped her near Surelaire. She walked to the bus stop where she had seen Emily the day before. And there she was. Emily, in her yellow and black Keke, calling out for passengers. "Yaba, Ikoradu Road. Enter." Patricia walked slowly to the Keke. She stood there looking lost. Emily noticed her immediately. She stopped calling and looked at the old woman. "Ma, where are you going?" Patricia spoke in a quiet, tired voice. Yaba sighed. "Enter, Ma. Let me help you." Emily helped her into the Keke gently. Made sure she was seated well. The Keke moved. Patricia, now calling herself Mama Rose, sat quietly in the back. She watched Emily work. Picking people up. Dropping them off. Talking nicely to everyone. Helping an old man with his bag. Stopping carefully at every junction. When they reached the stop, Patricia reached into her bag slowly. Then she looked up at Emily with sad eyes. "My daughter, I forget my money at home. I will pay you tomorrow." There was silence for a moment. Emily looked at her. Then she smiled. "No problem, Ma. Go well. Stay safe. No anger. No suspicion. Just kindness." Patricia climbed down slowly and walked away. When she turned the corner and was sure Emily couldn't see her anymore, she stopped. She leaned against a wall and took a deep breath. "Day 1, she whispered to herself. Passed. Grace was waiting in a car nearby. Patricia climbed in, still dressed as Mama Rose. "How was it, Ma?" Grace asked carefully. Patricia looked out the window. "It's starting." For the next few weeks, every morning, Patricia showed up at that bus stop. She dressed the same way. Old dress. Scarf on her head. Tired walk. She carried a small worn-out bag. And every morning, Emily picked her up. By the third day, Emily called her Mama Rose, because that's what Patricia told her when Emily asked her name. "Mama Rose. Good morning. Hope you slept well. I tried, my daughter." And every day, Patricia did not pay. Every single day. 4 weeks. And Emily never asked for money. Not once. But Patricia wasn't just watching the free rides. She was designing real tests. Tests that would show her who Emily truly was when pressure came. One morning, Mama Rose climbed into the Keke as usual. There were already 3 other passengers inside. One of them was a big man. He was wearing a suit. He smelled like expensive perfume. He was on his phone, talking loudly about business. The Keke started moving. After a few minutes, The man looked at Mama Rose and wrinkled his nose. Hey, Madam Driver, do you carry all kinds of people in this Keke? Emily glanced at him through the mirror. Sir, this woman, he pointed at Mama Rose rudely. She smells. Old, dirty people should not be on public transport. This is embarrassing. The Keke went silent. Patricia, playing Mama Rose, looked down at her hands. But Emily's face changed. She stopped the Keke immediately. Right there in the middle of the road. Cars were honking behind them. Emily turned around completely in her seat. She looked the man straight in the eye. Her voice was calm, but it was strong. Sir, I understand that you are well dressed and have money. But in my Keke, every passenger is a person, rich or poor, young or old. If you cannot respect this woman, then you can get down. I will refund your money. The man blinked. He was shocked. Are you serious? He asked. Very serious, Emily said. Choose now. Respect or come down. The man looked around. The other passengers were staring at him. He felt embarrassed. He sat back and kept quiet. Emily turned back, started the Keke, and continued driving like nothing happened. Patricia sat in the back, her heart beating fast. That evening, when Grace picked her up, Patricia wrote in her notebook, Test 1, passed. She protects the weak even when it costs her money. 1 week later, Patricia arranged something different. She had a man named Frank, someone who worked for her company, approach Emily. It was late afternoon. Emily had just finished a trip and was parking her Keke to rest for a few minutes. Frank walked up to her with a friendly smile. Sister. Good afternoon. Emily looked up. Good afternoon. You need Keke. No. I just want to talk small business with you. Emily was confused, but she listened. Frank sat down on the bench next to her. I've been watching you around this area. You're a serious Keke rider, very hard-working. So I want to help you earn better money. Emily's eyes narrowed slightly. How? Simple. I have a delivery job. Every night, just one trip. I'll pay you 5,000 naira. Just use your Keke to carry the goods from one place to another. Very easy. 5,000 naira for one trip? That was more than Emily made in 3 days of normal work. But Emily's face didn't show excitement. It showed suspicion. What kind of goods? She asked. Frank waved his hand. Just goods. Normal things. You don't need worry yourself. What kind of goods? Emily asked again slowly. Frank shifted uncomfortably. Sister, it's just a delivery. You don't need to know everything. Emily stood up. She looked at him directly. Sir, if you cannot tell me exactly what I'll be carrying in my Keke, then my Keke is not available. I don't do any business I don't understand. Thank you. She walked away. Frank sat there for a moment, then left. From across the road, Patricia was watching through the tinted window of Grace's car. She wrote in her notebook, Test 2, passed. Money cannot make her compromise her values. 2 weeks into the test, Patricia had learned a lot about Emily just by listening to her talk with other passengers. Emily had a daughter. A sick daughter. Her name was Lily. One morning, Mama Rose decided to probe gently. My daughter Emily, I've heard you talk about your child sometimes. Is she okay? Emily's smile faded a little. She nodded. She has a minor illness. Her joints hurt her. We're managing it with hospital treatment. Hospital care isn't cheap, Mama Rose said carefully. Emily was quiet for a moment. Then she said softly, You're right, Ma. But God is there. As long as I can work, my daughter will be okay. I can't let anything happen to her. Mama Rose looked at Emily's face in the mirror. There was determination there, but also tiredness. Mama Rose, Emily said suddenly, You told me you don't have family in Lagos. Where do you sleep at night? Patricia hadn't expected this question. She answered carefully, I manage small places here and there. Emily was silent as she drove. Then she said, After I finish work today, I can take you to a shelter I know. They treat people well. It's not far. Patricia's breath caught. This woman was offering to help her, a stranger, find proper shelter. Thank you, my daughter. But I have a small place where I'll sleep tonight. Emily nodded but didn't look convinced. The next morning, when Emily picked up Mama Rose, she handed her something wrapped in foil paper. Ma, I cooked rice and stew this morning. I made extra. Please take some to eat. Patricia took the food. It was still warm. She looked down at it so Emily wouldn't see her eyes filling with tears. A woman who could barely feed her own sick child was sharing her food with a homeless stranger. That night, Patricia wrote in her notebook, Test 3, passed. She gives even when she has nothing to give. The fourth test was not planned. It just happened. One morning, Mama Rose was standing at the bus stop waiting for Emily. There was a crowd gathering nearby. Two men were shouting at each other. One was a bus conductor. The other was a passenger. They were arguing about money. The argument got louder. Then it got physical. One man pushed the other. The crowd scattered. Mama Rose was standing right in the middle of it. She looked frightened and confused. Suddenly, Emily's Keke pulled up. Emily saw what was happening. She didn't drive away. She didn't call someone else. She jumped out of her Keke and walked straight into the space between the two fighting men. Hey, stop it. Both of you stop. She wasn't shouting, but her voice was loud and clear. The two men paused. They looked at this woman who had just walked fearlessly between them. Emily turned to the conductor first. What happened? This man doesn't want to pay, the conductor shouted. Then she turned to the passenger. You talk. I already gave him money. He's lying, the passenger shouted back. Emily raised both hands. Okay, calm down. If you don't calm down, we won't solve anything. She spoke to both of them for less than 1 minute. She listened. She asked simple questions. She found out that the man had actually paid, but the conductor had forgotten because he was carrying too many people. Here's your money in your pocket, Emily told the conductor. Check carefully. The conductor checked. He found the money. His face changed. Ah, sorry. Sorry. The passenger shook his head angrily, but he walked away. Emily turned to the crowd. It's over. No fighting. Everyone, go your own way. The crowd dispersed. Emily came back to her Keke. She saw Mama Rose standing there, shaking slightly. Ma, sorry you saw that. Come, get in. Let me take you out of here. As they drove away, Patricia was thinking. This woman just walked into a dangerous situation to protect me. A homeless stranger. No reward. No camera. No thank you. Just because it was right. After 5 weeks, Patricia designed one last test. She had Grace, her personal assistant, create a fake community group called Surreal Community Support. Grace then approached Emily one afternoon. Grace introduced herself politely. Good afternoon. My name is Grace. I work with a community organization that helps people in this area. We've been watching you and we think you're a good person. Emily was confused. Thank you, Ma. But why? We want to offer you a small job. Paid job. We're running a transport program for elderly people and people with disabilities. We need someone to coordinate it. Someone who will manage a few drivers, make schedules, handle complaints, and report to us every week. Emily's eyes widened. Me? Yes. You? Emily asked many questions. What exactly would she do? How many hours? What was the pay? Who would she report to? What if there was a problem she couldn't solve? She didn't just say yes immediately. She was thoughtful, careful. Finally, she agreed. I will try my best. For the next 2 weeks, Grace monitored everything Emily did. Emily showed up early every day. She kept proper records in a notebook. Who went where, who paid, who didn't pay, which driver showed up, which driver was late. When one driver was rude to an old woman, Emily called him aside and spoke to him seriously. The driver apologized. When there was a problem with scheduling, 2 drivers booked for the same time, Emily didn't panic. She solved it quietly, then informed Grace afterward about what she had done and why. She never made excuses. When she made a small mistake once, she admitted it immediately and fixed it. One evening, Grace called Patricia. Ma, she's the one. She's definitely the one. Patricia closed her eyes and leaned back in her chair. Yes, she whispered. She is. While Patricia was testing Emily, Emily was fighting her own battle. Lily's sickness was getting worse. One night, Lily woke up crying. Her knee was swollen. She couldn't bend it. Emily carried her to the bathroom, gave her pain medicine, and held her until she fell asleep again. The next morning, Emily took Lily to the hospital. The doctor examined Lily carefully. Then he called Emily into his office. Mrs. Grant, Lily's condition is progressing. We need to start her on a special treatment. Monthly injections. They will help control the inflammation and prevent permanent damage to her joints. Emily's heart sank. How much, doctor? The doctor wrote down a number and showed her. Emily looked at it. Her hand started shaking. It was more than 2 months of her Keke income. And that was just for 1 month. Lily would need it every month. Doctor, please. I don't have that kind of money right now. But could I pay in installments? Perhaps I could pay half this month and the remaining half next month. The doctor looked at her with pity. I will talk to the hospital. Let me see what we can do. Emily walked out of the hospital holding Lily's hand. She was smiling so Lily wouldn't be scared. But inside, her heart was breaking. That night, after Lily had slept, Emily sat at her small table with her notebook. She wrote down everything she earned, everything she spent, everything she owed. She calculated. She erased. She calculated again. No matter how she did the math, the money wasn't enough. She put her head on the table and cried quietly so she wouldn't wake Lily. The next morning at the bus stop, Mama Rose noticed something. Emily, you look tired today. A different kind of tired. Emily forced a smile. I'm okay, ma'am. Is it your child? Mama Rose asked gently. Emily's smile crumbled. She told Mama Rose about the treatment, about the money, about how she didn't know what to do. Mama Rose held Emily's hand across the Keke seat. A woman like you always finds a way, she said softly. God sees everything you are doing. Emily looked at this old homeless woman who had nothing but was trying to encourage her. And she felt a strange peace. Thank you, Ma. But what Emily didn't know was that Mama Rose had a plan. That evening, Patricia made a phone call. Grace, get me the name of the hospital where Emily's daughter is being treated. 3 days later, the hospital received a bank transfer. A large amount. Enough to pay for Lily's treatment for the next 12 months. Completely. The transfer came from an anonymous account. The only message said, for Lily Grant. From a friend who cares. When Emily went to the hospital the next week for Lily's appointment, the cashier smiled at her. Mrs. Grant, good news. Your daughter's account has been fully settled. Someone paid everything. Emily froze. What? Who? Anonymous donor. Ma. They didn't leave a name. Emily stood there for a long moment. Then she walked outside into the hospital parking lot. The sun was bright. People were moving around her. But she didn't see any of them. She looked up at the sky and tears started falling. Not sad tears. Grateful tears. Relieved tears. "Thank you," she whispered. "Whoever you are, thank you." She had no idea that the person who paid was Mama Rose, the homeless woman she had been carrying for free, the woman she had shared her food with. She had no idea. Patricia had seen enough. After 7 weeks of riding in Emily's Keke every morning, after 5 major tests and countless small observations, Patricia knew. She went home that final evening and sat in her study. She wrote one last report, just like she would before making any major business decision. At the top of the page, she wrote, "Emily Grant, final assessment." Then she listed everything. Discipline, shows up every day on time. Works hard without complaint. Honesty, refused shady money. Returned extra change to passengers. Kept accurate records in the community program. Courage, walked into a fight to protect people. Stood up to rude passengers. Compassion, shared food when she had little. Helped strangers without being asked. Leadership, managed drivers calmly. Solved problems without drama. Integrity, does the right thing even when nobody is watching. Patricia closed the notebook. She picked up her phone and called Grace. Set up a meeting. Emily Grant. Tomorrow morning. My real office. And Grace. Send a good car for her. The next morning, Emily got a phone call from a number she didn't know. "Hello. Good morning. Is this Emily Grant?" "Yes." "Who is this?" "My name is Grace. I'm calling from Coal Empire. We would like to meet with you. A car is on its way to your location to bring you to our office." Emily's mind was racing. Coal Empire? But why? "I didn't apply for any job." "Just come, ma'am. Everything will be explained." 20 minutes later, a shiny black car pulled up in front of Emily's small room. The driver stepped out and opened the door for her. Emily looked down at her simple dress and slippers. I'm not dressed properly." "You're fine, ma'am. Please." Emily climbed into the car. Her heart was beating fast. She didn't know what was happening. The car drove through Lagos. It went to Victoria Island. Big, tall buildings everywhere. Glass and steel. They pulled up in front of one of the biggest buildings Emily had ever seen. The sign said, Coal Empire. Emily's legs felt weak as she stepped out. Grace met her in the lobby. "Welcome, Miss Grant. Please, follow me." They took a lift up. The floor was so clean Emily could see her reflection. They walked down a long corridor with paintings on the walls. Then Grace opened a big door. "Please, enter." Emily walked in. The office was huge. Beautiful. One wall was all glass, looking out over Lagos. There was a long desk. Expensive chairs. Everything was perfect. And sitting behind that desk, Emily stopped walking. Her mouth fell open. Mama Rose. But not Mama Rose. This woman was wearing a crisp, expensive suit. Navy blue with a white blouse. Her hair was styled perfectly. No scarf. No dust. She sat up straight, powerful, commanding. But those eyes. Emily knew those eyes. Mama Rose. Emily whispered. The woman stood up slowly. She walked around the desk until she was standing right in front of Emily. "My name is Patricia Cole. I am the CEO of Coal Empire." Emily shook her head. She couldn't speak. Patricia continued. "For the past 7 weeks, I have been riding in your Keke every morning. I was testing you. Testing your character. Your integrity. Your heart." Emily's hand came up to her mouth. "I needed to find someone I could trust," Patricia said softly. "Not someone with just a degree or a title. Someone real. Someone with actual character. Someone who treats every person, rich or poor, powerful or helpless, with the same respect. She paused. I was that helpless person. And you passed every single test. Tests you didn't even know you were taking. The hospital bill, Emily whispered. Patricia nodded. Yes. Emily's legs gave way slightly. Grace rushed forward and held her arm. But Emily didn't fall. She was stronger than that. She steadied herself. Why me? Emily asked. I'm just a Keke rider. Patricia looked at her clearly. No. You are not just a Keke rider. You are a woman who showed up with integrity every single day. Who protected a stranger in danger. Who chose honesty over easy money. Who led people without needing a title. Who gave to others even when you were suffering yourself. Patricia took a step closer. Those are not the qualities of just a Keke rider. Those are the qualities of a leader. She paused. Emily Grant, I want to offer you the position of Deputy CEO of Coal Transit, Abuja. Full salary. Full authority. Company housing. Car. And Lily's medical care, fully covered by Coal Empire for as long as she needs it. The room was completely silent. Emily opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Tears were running down her face. You want me to be a deputy CEO? Yes. But I didn't go to university. I don't know about computers or business documents or... Patricia raised her hand. You will learn. Grace will train you. You will have 3 weeks of proper training before you go to Abuja. But Emily, the things you need for this job, honesty, courage, people management, integrity, those things cannot be taught. You already have them. Emily covered her face with her hands and cried. Grace brought her a chair and she sat down. After a moment, Emily looked up at Patricia. Why did you do it like this? Why didn't you just interview me? Patricia sat down in the chair next to Emily. Because interviews show me what people want me to see. I needed to see who you really are when you think nobody important is watching. That's when the truth comes out. Emily wiped her tears. She looked at Patricia for a long moment. Then she said quietly, I accept. Hey everyone! If this story touched your heart, please smash that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Drop a comment and tell me what you learned from this story. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next powerful story. We upload stories that will change your life. God bless you. See you in the next one.